All right, welcome everyone to Growth School. I hope you can hear me and I hope you're set for that will be shared tonight. Okay, so let me just put in display the topic. Let me display the topic. All right, awesome. So welcome everyone to Growth School. This is where you get phenomenal knowledge, where you get phenomenal wisdom, and you gain understanding on things that are relevant to your personal life, relevant to your daily living, relevant to the things you have a question becoming and the things you want to really do in making global difference and becoming globally relevant in your career, in the things you really want to do and the things you're set to become. So this is where we discuss things that contribute to your growth, things that help your personal life, and things that help you become a better person as you go on in your daily ambition. All right. So this is very, very profitable and this is really important. So please, I want to encourage and I want to plead with you to invite your friends, share with everyone you know, and let them come in here and learn the phenomenal knowledge that has the power to transform your life and help you move from point zero to point 120. All right, from point zero to point 120. So last week we started a series on daily habits for staying courageous in every season. What are the daily habits and the things that help you become really courageous in every season, irrespective of what age, what dispensation, what moment, what ideologies, what circumstances, or things that you may be confronted with? The ideas that you will be learning tonight have the power to transform your life and to change you into an unbelievable individual. Okay, so and that's what you'll be learning today. So I hope you're set. I hope you're ready. Now, before I dive deep into it and take a recap, before I came up here, I picked up a book and I was just trying to read, and I felt it's really going to form what I got in there will form a basis to what we will be sharing tonight. All right, to what we will be sharing tonight. Now, there is this story of two young men who were born by the same father. So two young men who were born by the same father. Let's assume the name of one was Chike and the name of the other was one was Chike, the other one was Chooks. All right, so we have Chike, we have Chooks. Both of them were born by the same father. And their father grew up as a young boy who was a drunkard, who was drinking all his life. He drank and drank and drank to a point he would drink to stupor. He would fall on the floor. He would return home really late after drinking and all of that. And he grew up like that to the point that even sometimes their father was not so caring to maybe catering for them, so concerned about how far they want to be and the things they want to become. And Chike and Chooks were looking at their father. They always saw him coming. Sometimes he talks to them, and they always smell, right, the aura of the drink that he has taken. Eventually, these two young men grew up to become men. They grew up to become fathers. Chike happened to Chike happened to turn out like his father. So he saw what his father did. So he also grew up becoming a drunkard, and he would drink and drink and drink, and his children will look at him, and he grew up that way, being just like his father, growing up as a drunkard. And he loved drink. He drunk to stupor to the point whereby he didn't know what was going on. He would drink, and to a point he would vomit and sleep. So he ended up really poor. He ended up really wretched. He ended up not having a lot of money. But Chooks on the other side ended up as a very successful executive. He ended up as a very successful executive, got an amazing job. He did really well, took his children to the best school of the world, best places of the world. While Chuk grew up as an excellent executive, Chike grew up to have killed the probably one of the people who served them in the bar because he got really angry and the person offended him so much, and Chike killed that person. And for that reason, Chike was arrested and he ended up in the prison. Now, they ended up meeting with these two young boys. They ended up meeting with Chike. Now they are men. They met with Chike, they met with Chuks and asked them, what was responsible for how you became? What was responsible for you as Chike who ended up in prison? And what was responsible for you as Chuks who ended up in as an executive, well celebrated executive, honored and all? And the both of them actually gave the same answer: their father. So Chike said the reason why he ended up in the prison was because of his father. And Chuks also said the reason why he ended up as a well-celebrated executive was because of his father. Now, if their answers were the same, what really made the difference? What made the difference was perspectives. 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 Now, the question is, how do you picture the situations that happen to you in life? How do you picture the things that you have experienced that seem so unpleasing? What perspective do you put towards things that happen, maybe in your nation, maybe in your family, maybe in your workplace, maybe in your career, maybe in your circumstance? What perspective do you have about the things you have been through? Chike had the perspective that, well, maybe this was a worthy model, and he picked up a motivation from the lifestyle of his father and ended up in prison. And Chuks also looked at the situation of his father, looked at what the father became, and said he would not end up like his father. Yet he saw something in his father, he saw something in his background, he saw something in his experience, but said he was not going to become like that. Instead, he wanted to become something better. Right now, there are people who may be for certain things happening in maybe your nation, probably for those in Nigeria. You know, a colleague at work today was telling me, on my campus was telling me that, oh, looks like today virtually everybody was about, what was happening in Nigeria right now. So a lot of people dedicated their time, interest, and everything into understanding what was going. Twitter is just going here and there. If you go on WhatsApp status, they're talking about it. Go on Facebook, everything, screenshots, and all of those things. But there is someone who is right now looking at that thing and saying, oh, if this happens, maybe the situation will be this, maybe circumstances will be this will be this. And there's somebody else saying, the people who these hundreds of people are sitting for are those who are already doing well for themselves. In fact, they don't care about the outcome. They could do well and succeed and move on and do all of those things. But there's somebody right now who is saying, maybe I need to start figuring out the next thing about my own life. Okay, maybe I'll begin to look out for things I need to do about my life that will make the whole difference. Right now, there are fathers who have actually invested their attention, their energy into things that will add no inch to their life and progress. While in some sort, their children are there suffering and they are not figuring out how to make the life of their children better. So you must understand that irrespective of what you have been through, and irrespective of what may be happening to you, irrespective of your experiences in life, perspective would always make the difference. I once listened to a mentor who at a time he was sharing at the session I was in. I sat down and I was just taking notes in one of those forums. And he told us, he said that whenever anyone asks him what's the motivating factor to why he's successful and why he's wealthy and why he's doing well, he says his motivating factor is poverty. It's as if I've not heard that, like I've not heard that before in my life. Like someone will pick motivation from poverty. The same poverty someone is complaining about and saying, hey, poverty is this, poverty is that. I know people are saying, poverty, die, die, die. So we have been doing all of that. And even if they are doing, some of them are doing nothing about changing that situation, is what became the motivating factor for somebody. So somebody says, I will make up my mind that I will be so diligent, I will do the best in life, I will associate with the right people in life, I will navigate my way through to wealth. Why? Because I've seen poverty and I seem not to like it. So the things that are undesirable in your life can be a motivating factor. The situations you have been through in life that seem to be undesirable. Maybe you grew up from a family whereby you found out that they're always fighting, or you grew up from an environment where they are always facing themselves and slapping themselves, or an environment where they always queue on the line to bait, or they queue and do all of those things. Those things, you can have a perspective that can make those things a motivation to why you don't want to repeat the lifestyle. There might be the motivation why you don't want to always complain. If you grew up from a family where maybe every time they talk about money, there's always fight and quarrel, there's always frowning, there's always looking down and all of those things, you need to look at the perspective and say, is this how I really want to live my life? Is this the path I want to trend? Is this what I want to do in my life? Or it will be a motivation to why you don't want to repeat those things in your life. So perspectives are very, very important. Your perspective of life, your perspective about success, your perspective about failure, your perspective about poverty, your perspective about wealth, your perspective about change, your perspective about difference, your perspective even about people. What's your perspective about women? What's your perspective about men? You know, there are people who have been through circumstances whereby maybe in their family, the way their father treated their mother made them have a perspective that all men are the same. But they don't make up their mind to say, I will look for a different man and position to a point whereby I can attract such men or such individual to my life. So perspective is powerful. Your perspective is powerful. There are people who picture, I wish I have a bottle of water here. Okay. Now, a bottle of water that is not full, there are people who would say it's half full, and there are people who say it's half empty. Your perspective will determine how things happen. And you must understand that your perspectives don't change automatically. I want you to write it down. Your perspectives don't change automatically. I'll say it again. Your perspectives don't change automatically. There is always a process which you take your mind through on a consistent basis that makes your perspective become positive. If you grew up finding out that you're so negative about life, and whenever you do things consistently, you always think negative. You see someone doing well, there's always a negative part to it. You see someone who is trying to forge ahead, do a lot of amazing things in their life, you are just negative about them. Like, is it only them? Is it this and all of that? You need to take your mind through a training so that your perspectives will become positives. So can perspectives are very, very important. Now, a recap in Courage Code Part 3, that's the first part on daily habits for staying courageous in every season. Last week, we took two major elements. So, number one, we talked about wellness. That was where we spoke about taking care of your mental wellness, your bodily wellness, and also your concentration wellness. The way you focus on things, the things you look at, the people you listen to. If you find out that consistently you attract people who gossip about others to you, or people who try to tell you more about things that have to do with animosities, you may need to begin to change state, you just change associations around you, change those connections. Why? Because they affect your mental mind. You will find out that every time you leave certain people, you always feel less. Like you go back home thinking about that individual they spoke to you about, And every time you just think this person is bad, that person is this person is not well, this person is this. And that's what you invest your energy into. And you find out that the more you keep animosity, the longer it takes you to succeed and excel in life. But you see, those who are very peaceful about life, those who just live their life, they just live their life, they are happy, they are delighted, they do things they want to do, they are not intimidated. You see them, you see their face shining, they are doing so well, they are so happy, they are excited, they don't grow old, their faces don't shrink. Why? Because they are paying attention to their wellness. So if you really want to build courage in your life, you must pay attention to your wellness. Pay attention to the words that are said around you. Let me tell you the truth. There are people who would always want you to make enemies. There are people who would always want you to make enemies. But you need to ask yourself that do you have so much space in your mind tank that can take in animosities? So the reason why you have time making enemies is because you still have space in your mental tank that is not filled with positivity that can still take in animosity. So pay attention to your wellness. So I encourage, go back to last week's replay, still available on my YouTube channel. You can just go right now and save it as watch later so that you would go back and watch it. So number two thing we treated, so we're able to take just two. Number two thing we treated is we talked about words. So the first W is wellness. The second W is words. Words. And I mentioned that words are powerful. And even in the Bible, you'll find out that there was a part in the Bible that was written that the world, the entire world you see right now, were formed by the word of God. So it means what came out and then there was a formation. God did not actually use his hand to begin to arrange the world. No, he spoke words and then the entire world was formed. Right now, and if you have studied the book of Genesis very well, the Bible made mention that the world was without form. And you found out that if you have read that part, the world being without form was not a means of discouragement to God. Instead, God spoke the right words to ensure that the right world was formed. So you must know that your world seems to be formed by your words. Your world seems to be formed by your words. Have you seen people who they told you about a certain instance or a certain thing that is coming and they said, I don't think that thing will even happen. I don't believe that would make it true. You will find out that such people, even when the opportunities that would change their lives come, they are not able to attract it because their words went ahead to make those things run far away from them. When you see people say, are there even good men in this world at all? Are there even right men that I can marry? Oh, man has come. Man has come. You will find out that even sometimes when the right people come around them, because of the words that they have said, the right people, the right men seems to run away from them. They may go into it for a short while. It doesn't last because their world have been formed by their words. Their world have been formed by their words. You must understand that words are powerful. Words are powerful. So I painted a lot of instances. When you watch the replay, if you were not here last week, I painted the instance of David. When David went to war and he saw the giants, everybody in the war front, including the king Saul, they were all scared. All they were saying is, oh, they're fearful. You know, they were so fearful. Their words were negative. Even the brothers, when he said, what will be given? Their brother said, you, what are you looking for? You think so much of yourself and all of that. You know what? David did not allow that deter him. You'll find out that he spoke more words to Goliath to the point that in the mind of Goliath already, there was some sort of doubt whether he would defeat David or not. Because David spoke more words. He said, he told him exactly how he was going to kill him. I will cut off your head and I will feed your bodies with the birds of the air. And you get what? That was exactly what happened. So The world of victory for David was created through the words of his mouth. So you must be careful about the words you see on a daily basis. If you're the kind that enter public transport, like you commute public transport, most of the time you'll hear people tell you negative things, the wrong things going on. You hardly see people tell you what's the positive thing going on, what's the progress happening, what's the profitability happening. You don't see people go in there and tell you, oh, these are the positive things, these are good things. When people speak about marriage, most times it's negative. When they talk about the situation of the economy of the nation, is negative. When they talk about the educational system, is negative. How then do you preserve your mind to be courageous? So every time you're fearful, hey, I don't know what will happen next. I don't know how things will be. I don't know how this is. I don't know how this is. So it begins to bet more fear with you. So the words that you align with consistently either make you courageous or keep you fearful. The words you say consistently either make you courageous or keep you fearful. Now let's go to the third. Number three, what are daily habits that can help you stay courageous? Daily habits that can help you stay courageous in every season. Maybe not many people have told you this, and I know you are likely not to have heard it. There's one thing that can help you stay courageous, which is writings. Writings, 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 writings. I want to find out there's this event that took place in scripture. All right, and I'm going to base it. I want to remember the name of that king. There was this son of I think it was a son of Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon who became king. There was this son of Nebuchadnezzar. I want to just remember his name. I don't want to get it wrong. There was this son. There was this son of Nebuchadnezzar. So the book of Daniel, if you know the name, now I want to talk about that young man that there was a writing on the wall that said a lot of things and he didn't get the meaning. I want to relay a point there. I want to get his name. I want to get his name. I'm going to get it. Just hold on, please. I know it's not Belteshazzar. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to be sure because I know that Daniel was called Belteshazzar. So his name was Belshazzar. Yeah, correct. So his name was Belshazzar. Belshazzar happened to be the son of, yeah, he came out from the lineage of Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was a king, like a, a, a very thorough and very intimidating king. You know, the kind of king that can say that if you don't do this, they are going to increase the fire 7 times and they will throw you into, you know, it was like someone being thrown into hellfire even before hellfire itself. So that was the kind of king Nebuchadnezzar was. Very fierce king. People hardly said no to him. People hardly told him, King, I can't do it. Or there are people. I wish some of us have worked with certain people, or you've had certain stories of some leaders that when they tell you to go, you can't say no. Even trying to say, I'm sorry, can I? You are already you are already in trouble. There were kings like that. There were kings like that in Bible in old days, and I think there are even leaders like that today. That when they tell you this is the way to go, you dare not tell them you are not going. You dare not even look for an excuse not to go. So that was the kind of king Nebuchadnezzar was. So he gave birth to there was a son, Belshazzar, who became king after his demise and all. And the man was just marrying, all right? He was marrying, they took wine, You know how kings eat when they do parties. They could take a full chicken. A full chicken, they would smoke it, they will have chicken suya, everything, and they will have nice wine, chilled one, different brands and all of that. So I think he was so excited. They had parties and all and did all of those things. And Probably in all of those meetings, there were also ladies and all of that. He was just enjoying himself. You know, when they say someone is catching cruise, he was catching cruise. And after the meeting, he just sat down and he started seeing writings on the wall. He saw an hand, pen, and they were writing something on the wall. He didn't know the meaning of what was written. Just that event alone, writings alone, made him fearful. Just the fact that something was being written, he was already fearful. He was already fearful. The same way, when people read the things that are written online, the things that are written about marriage, already some people are scared of getting married. Already, fear is already there. They are scared of getting married. There are people, just because of what someone wrote his idea, wrote his perspective about money. Some people are already scared of being wealthy. There are people already, just because someone went online and say, hey, master, it's not easy. My supervisor wants to kill me. We shall thank God that God helped me. And already there's someone who knows that taking a master's can actually add up to what you choose to become in destiny. Have a role to play in your destiny path and in your future. Because you read what was written by someone, you are scared already. Already you are saying, masters, no be for me. Oh. And 15 years from now, you may find out that just the fear of not going into it may be the reason why you would not be able to unlock some opportunities. The same way there are people right now, hey, oh, studying abroad, I will write GRE. Hey, I will do West. I will now go and be reading again. Instead of them to give me all of this. And that's why some people are not pushing for global and international knowledge. They are not pushing anymore to travel to the places where they will get more exposure, more global exposure in their field. And they are just limiting themselves and saying, maybe I should just leave it. Just because of what is written. So writings are powerful. Writings are powerful. That's the reason why when you read books, let me give you this quick tip. When you pick up a book and you read, you must understand that what is written is coming from the perspective of an individual. And it's your responsibility to pick up what would add value to you and leave out the things that are not necessary. There are belief systems that are put into writings. Sometimes even the people you respect so much, there are things they can write that you should not really take. Why? Because they can be destructive or they can be limiting in your destiny path. Don't just think, this person wrote this because this person wrote this. Have you seen people who be fighting? You know, it's very funny. Have you seen people who be fighting in the comment section of certain individuals when they write? You'll see this one, they'll be on the defense part. That one will be on the attack part. This person, anything the person wrote is correct. Even even the man of God you consider as the most respected can actually write the wrong thing and put his ideology into something that is the truth. Can actually distort a truth by just a single sentence. And if you are not discerning, you may consume and accept it as true. So you must know that people can put their perspective into writing. Now, returning back to Belshazzar, and Belshazzar was there and was there and was there. He was fearful and fearful and fearful. And he made a proclamation and told them they should look for the wise men that can interpret these things. And many wise men in the country came and they began to interpret. You know, as I was saying that, I just got a lesson. Have you ever asked yourself that what's the reason why the kings in the Bible had wise men around them? The kings in the Bible, have you noticed? Nebuchadnezzar, they were wise men. In the times of Pharaoh, he had wise men. Now Belshazzar, they were wise men. Kings don't call foolish people to the table to counsel them. Kings don't call foolish men, foolish people to the table to counsel them. And when they need to take strategic decisions that would advance their personal life, their family, the nation, they look for wise men. Let me ask you this question. You may make a proclamation and call yourself a king. You may make a proclamation and say, oh, I'm a king. We are king and priest unto the Lord. But let me ask you, who are the people you call when you need to take strategic decisions in your life? I'm digressing a bit. Who are the people you call? Who are the people you reach out to? Who are the people you seek counsel from when you need to take strategic decisions in your life? Listen, there are decisions you want to take in your life that should not be posted on WhatsApp status. There are questions about your destiny that you want to ask, that you should not ask people on your Facebook group, or you should ask people who are your Facebook friends. What people you should look for? You should look for wise men. Wise men. So kings don't just call anybody to solve their problem. They look for the wise. Maybe the reason why you have not had kings call you to their table or seek for your counsel or willing to get your ideology about things is because you have not grown to a level of wisdom that they can demand. You have not grown to a level of wisdom that they have not seen before and they can call you to their table. All right. Anyways, that aside. So Belshazzar actually saw the right thing. They called for wise men, and a lot of wise men came, and they could not interpret what was written. Okay, they could not interpret what was written. In fact, I'm getting a lot of lessons. I'm getting a lot of lessons from these things now. Let me just write this down. Let me just write this down so that I would move on. So Belshazzar called many wise men to order. They could not interpret, and then they called Daniel, who was also named by Nebuchadnezzar to be Belteshazzar, and he told him what was written, Mene, Mene, Tekel, and he gave him the interpretation. He told him that, oh, you have been weighed by the balances and you have found one thing, and he gave him the interpretations and all. Until he got the interpretation, he was not at peace. He was not at rest. Now, a lot of the times you read books, you go on Facebook, on your Facebook timeline, and you look at all those things. You go on Instagram, you scroll through people's WhatsApp status. You go through certain things. You go on Threads, go on Twitter. And when people write things, when they post things, when they tweet things, do you seek for the interpretation? Or you run into conclusion and just act with them? Kings don't act like the masses. So the masses are the ones that they read something, they just go with it, and then they begin to engage a conversation. They just go with it and begin to engage a conversation. Let me tell you one humorous thing that happened to me in secondary school. Those who were my classmates in secondary school remember. I remember the time, I think this was maybe GSS 2. I think it should be maybe GSS 2 or GSS 3. I can't remember now. But it was in secondary school. And my classmates, they were talking about a movie, we had people who watch movies. And then the time when they used to go and rent CDs, they rent CDs for 100 naira or 50 naira, I can't remember. I know they used to rent CDs then. They call that place, they used to call the place, is it Video Center or Video Center, Video Coverage Center? Those people will go to Alaba, they'll buy CDs and then they'll rent it out. They
you collect. Okay, which day are you going to return it? You write down your name. I once stayed in that shop for someone. In my street there. So you will go there, they'll rent out the CD. When are you going to return it? If you use this extra day, they'll give extra money. That those days there. And my classmates were talking and discussing about a movie and discussing about it, and they were doing all of those things. They were saying, this guy did this is what that guy said. And me, I said, that guy did this, I don't know that. Until they don't ask me, okay, where did you watch your own? And I told them, I saw it in poster. I saw the gesticulation. I saw the gesticulation of the guy in poster. Just gesticulation in poster made me bring out a conclusion of what happened in the movie. A gesticulation of what happened in poster. That's the way some of us, or maybe not some of us, most people just read something that is written and take a conclusion about it, sit upon it as a doctrine, and then move on that way in their life. Kings don't reason that way. Until kings gain an understanding of things, they do not act on them. They do not act on them. So you must be careful of dwelling on shallow ideas or shallow writings without digging the depths behind them. So writings are very, very important. So the things you absorb, the things you read, or the things you write have a way of initiating fear or making you become more courageous. Till today, have you ever asked yourself, who was the leader? Who exactly was the leader of EndSARS? Who was the leader? Tweets, 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 tweets. Even if I don't desire that such event plays again in Nigeria, but have you ever found out who is the leader? Who is actually leading that EndSARS movement? Who led it? But writing started. People were writing and writing and writing and writing, tweets upon tweets upon tweets upon tweets. Before you know it, hundreds of young people have gathered. Tweets upon tweets upon tweets upon tweets. Hundreds of young people gathered again. And they were there protesting and protesting and protesting. Writings are powerful. Writings are powerful. So you must be careful what you absorb when you read things. Because people do not just influence by what they say, there's a lot of influence by the things that are written. Have you seen a lot of people who believe they lie without finding a particular blog, because a particular blog shared something about it, or they read that thing on Instagram and they just believed that was the truth? Even where I really wanted to go when I was preparing, that's not what my intention is. There's a part of writing that it is what people write. Now, there is a part of writing that has to do with what you pen down. You can bet courage by the things you write down. This is why I encourage you, as a daily habit, make sure you journal. Make sure you journal. Make sure you journal. Make sure you return back home and begin to write down, what are the lessons I learned from the activities today? What are the things I've learned to do better from the things that happened today? You must learn to journal. Now, journaling is not a way to show that, oh, you're there. There are people that believe, oh, when people talk about journaling, they just want to show up and feel like, yeah, they are doing things relating to personal development and they are doing well. Just let us know that they are there. No. There's a part of journaling that helps to improve your confidence, that helps you to become more courageous. There are times whereby when you wake up, maybe you are in a meeting, maybe you're in a board meeting, or you are in a setting, or maybe you attended a conference, and you know there's something burning within you. Don't just stand up to say it, or don't just say it immediately. Sometimes what you have to do is to pick your journal or pick your diary or pick your notepad and write it down, find a way to construct it better before you say it. There is a likely chance that you'll be wiser when you construct things on paper, before you say them. There's a probability that people will understand you better when you construct your thoughts in writing before you speak. That way you will build more courage to speak to people, more courage about things. By the time you write it down, you say it to yourself, you find out that it makes sense, then you can rise up and speak. You can rise up and put it out. Why do you think most times, when people go as keynote speakers, as speakers or panelists at events, they usually have a notepad, whether digital or as written, whether digital or in black and white. Why do you think they do so? Why? Because they don't want to go there and sound foolish or sound like, is this person aware at all? And there are platforms like TEDx platform. I remember something that happened. There was a TEDx platform that I spoke on July 1st. I remember the 1st of July. And I got there expecting, there was going to be slide available, because they told us, maybe send your slide. Okay, send write-ups. Maybe they'll prepare slide and all. I thought probably slides will be prepared and all. I got there and found out that slides were not going to be available. And I was going to be the first guest speaker. What did I do? Instead of expecting those things to be shared, those things were already written down. All I needed to do was to internalize those things, relate my own stories into them, and just get to the stage, know what I was starting with, know the point I was going to lay, and what I was going to finish with, and that was it. And this was a speaking session that must not be more than 18 minutes. Irrespective of what I was going to say, they said TEDx True Sales, for each session, it must not be more than 18 minutes. So because I practiced, I got in there, just wrote down certain points, new things I was going to do. I formed something there that day, and then boom, nobody knew that before that time I was expecting that there was going to be a slide. But because things were written down and internalized, the delivery was so excellent. So sometimes you must build the daily habit of writing down things. There's a part of writing that has to do with writing down your daily experience, writing down your daily lessons. There's a second part that has to do with writing down your schedule for the week. What I do mostly every Sunday, I write down the things I want to do from Monday to Saturday, sometimes to Friday, sometimes to Saturday. On Monday, these are things I need to do. These are tasks I need to accomplish. On Tuesday, these are exact tasks I need to accomplish. On Wednesday, these are exact tasks I need to accomplish. On Thursday, on Friday. Already it keeps me at peace and makes me courageous to face the week. So you find out that the reason why you are under pressure when every new week comes and you're like, let Saturday just come. You know, they are like, let Saturday just come. Let the week just end so that I will just relax and end. No. Never define your productivity and your results by days of the week. I'll say it again. Never define your productivity, your profitability, and your progress by days of the week. Let every day of your life count. If you got that value, let me see you type jollof. I want to be sure that you're getting me. Let me see you type jollof in the comment. Okay. I hope you are getting value. Let me see you type jollof in the comment. Never define your productivity, your profitability, and your progress by days of the week. Let every day count. So what do you have to do? Write down the things you need to do on a daily basis. Okay. Maybe if it's on Sunday, write down the things you want to do from Monday to Saturday. For some people, what they do is a night before the following day, they write down what they want to do the following day. For example, Monday night, they'll write down all the activities they need to carry out on Tuesday. So it means automatically your mind is set for what you want to do that day. Your mind is prepared to fulfill and accomplish the things you want to do for that day. So you don't get out on a daily basis scared, intimidated, incorrigible. You are fearful. You are just like, oh, I don't know what will happen today. Hey, I hope today will not be like this. I hope today will not, and you are scared. And this is the reason why a lot of people are not productive on a daily basis. The moment when you write down your tasks, it makes you set for the day and it keeps you courageous. It keeps you courageous. Let me find out. Have you been at a situation whereby you didn't plan for that day? And as you got into the day, whether as a student in school or an employee at work or maybe an entrepreneur in your business, when you don't plan for a day, you find out that most times you are always there's a lot of anxiety. Have you noticed this? That whenever you don't plan for a day, there are a lot of anxieties, there are a lot of anxiousness. You're always like, sometimes the day don't just go nicely. How many of you have noticed it? How many of you have noticed it? Let me see in the chat. How many of you have noticed it? That whenever you don't plan for a day, there is always some sort of fear. Like you just have a seeming anxiety. Your mind is not so settled. You just wake up and feel like, I don't know what today will be like. Oh, but you want to be courageous. You want to be courageous on a daily basis. Write down your goal. Write down the things you want to accomplish for that day, and you will just see the difference in your life. Yeah, thank you so much, Princess Chioma. Nice to have you again. Yes. When you don't plan for a day, there are a lot of anxiety. Things don't just connect. You don't know why. Things don't just connect to each other. You just feel like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? So what I do personally in my own daily life is I plan my week from Saturday or on Sunday. I plan Monday to Saturday. And on Monday, when I get there, I know these are the things I need to do. When I complete, I tick. When I complete, I tick. When I complete, I tick. And when I see that I'm achieving a lot, there's a lot of joy, excitement. I'm just courageous. And at times, I may even finish up those tasks and still have luxury of time to be able to do things for the following day or pick up some other things and all of that. But some people, you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is, oh, what did they see on social media? And then those are the things you're looking at. And you're looking at it and you just found out that you're scared. Everything makes you fearful. Or they told you, hey, I'm robber came to this place. Hey, this will happen to these people. Hey, this will happen to... You will just find out that the day is not so coordinated. What do you have to do? Plan your day beforehand. So your mind will be coordinated to be productive. Your mind will be coordinated to make progress. Your mind will be coordinated to make things work out in the right way, to accomplish results on every side. So words are powerful. So you plan, your plans should move from your heart to your notes. I wrote it down here. Your plan should move from your heart to your notes. I remembered 2018 when we were to commence Purpose Hangout and I got the inspiration in the place of prayer. I started drawing charts. Okay, I'll do this. I'll draw a line, connect to this, draw a line, connect to this. You know, that's the way to operate. That's the way to operate. You make it plain upon tables. Make it plain upon tables. He said that he that readeth it will be able to run. Write the vision, make it plain upon tables. You know, because in those days they made use of tablets. Remember they took the commandments, 10 commandments, they were written on tables. They're written on tables. So he said, write your vision, make it plain upon table. You don't need to make it plain upon table. Make it plain on your diary. Make it plain on your notepad. And then that he that readeth it may run. So you don't just write the plan. You look at it time after time, time after time, time after time. So you don't begin a task and then you just hear WhatsApp notification or social media notification. And then you are distracted. You have done that. Time is going. But the moment you look at it again, oh, I still have tax to do, you're focused, you're focused, and it builds your courage. So let your plan move from your heart to your notes, from your heart to your notes. There are certain people I used to ask certain questions, and I could ask them questions like, what's your plan? What's your plan from here? Sometimes some of them maybe they are students who just completed their defense, like they are done with school. What's your plan? What's your next plan? And they'll say, oh, I have it all in my head. Check up on those people 2 years from that time. They have done nothing about it. They have not done anything significant. They don't make any serious mark. Why? Because all their plans in their head, all their plans in their head. No, let it move from your mind. Let it move from your head to your notes. The moment you write down your plan, then you have started becoming serious about it. The moment you write down your plan, you have started becoming serious about it. So the reason why your money goes, you make money today, or you get money, and before you know it, after a month, it's drained, or you don't have something kept aside, you don't have something put aside. It's because you don't have a budget. You don't write down a budget. So you are scared. When money comes in, you are scared. The money will soon go. Where's money going to? Where's all of this? But the moment you work on a budget and you're able to document your expenses, you would have more courage. You will have more courage that you are handling your finances well. That you are handling your finances well. You're doing well with your finances. You will no longer become scared about your finances. Why? Because you have taken your thought from your mind to something written down, and then you start building and building and building on it. So writings are powerful. So write it down, and you must look for the best way to say it. What's your life ambition? Write it down on a daily basis and tell yourself, I'm going to be great. My life is going to be an impact to someone today. I'm going to change the lives of people. I will set out today and accomplish phenomenal things in my life. I'm going to put on things and thousands of people are going to accept it. You take it from your head, you make it a written down plan. When you want to begin to feel discouraged, you go back to the things you've written and you indoctrinate yourself with it again and again and again and again. Okay, so writing. Now, number four habits. Number four daily habit that you must imbibe to stay courageous is work. Is work. Is work. Is work. There is this amazing saying that nothing works until you work it. Nothing works until you work it. Nothing work until you work it. Nothing works until you work it. You must realize that every time you take step concerning certain area of your life, you have reduced your chances of being fearful whether it will succeed or not. I'll say it again. Every time you take a bold step or you take action towards in a certain area of your life, you have reduced the chances of being fearful of the result. You have reduced the chances of being fearful of the result. For example, maybe I should start with this. Should I use this example? Because I'm waiting for a particular time this year that I'm going to share this story. I used to be scared because of the religious institution that I am affiliated with. Okay. At the time, because of what people said about, oh, marriage committee this, marriage committee that, oh, marriage committee, hey, when you get there, don't know what you do. Oh, when you get there, I now realize that when I decided that, yes, I believe this was a person and all of that, when I started taking steps All right, when I started taking steps in that area of life, things became clearer. Like, but it's not really like people mention it, but it's not like that generally. Maybe that area is different, or maybe in that state is what is different, maybe in that region is what is different. It does not mean that it will also always be like that. The moment you act on certain dreams, certain goals, certain areas of life you want to accomplish, the chances of being fearful of the result become slimmer, become slimmer. Lazy people are the most fearful people. Idle people, let me use the word idle people. Idle people are the most fearful people in life. You see those who don't have work, who don't go out to put their energy to productive use, they are the ones that are most fearful about uncertain things in their life. Why? Because they don't know if this result will come. They don't know if this will happen. They don't know if that will happen. The problem is, just like a comedian used to say, that, let me say it in pidgin. Okay, the guy says, person wey no get work, na im dey advise person wey get work how he go spend him money, how he go spend him salary. Have you found out that most of the people who give the most fearful things, or the most fearful posts, or the most fearful things on WhatsApp status, in comment section on Facebook, are usually idle people? You know why? Because the people whose hands are busy doing something productive don't have time dealing with things that will make them become fearful. Why? Because they are busy, they are engaged in doing something. This is why you have to be careful of the people that you follow their advice on social media. Work have a way of making you courageous. Work have a way of making you courageous. Maybe right now someone is saying, you that you are a graduate, how can you be collecting 40,000 every month? Come on, go and rest now. And you see, you're scared. 40,000. How far will 40,000 take me? 40,000, 40,000. And you leave that job. 6 months after, you have not gotten any other job. 7 months, nothing else. And you are more fearful about life when you are idle than when you are engaged. I remember the time there was ASU strike when we were in final year. I think I've done my project, we've done presentation, and ASU strike just happened that time. This was 2013. Yeah, 2013. Boom. I had someone who I respected, I listened to and all. He set up a business center where they were doing printing and all, a cyber cafe, and then a training school, a computer training school. I approached him, met him, sir, this and this and all of that, and this and this, please, sir, this and this. And he had a friend who was also managing the school. And I joined. I was going to be training people in Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Corel Draw. I think PageMaker was also there, those packages for desktop publishing. Because after my secondary school, and while I was working in the pure water factory, I enrolled for desktop publishing. So I had that experience. I was able to know a lot of those things. That was where I was. How much were they paying me? 8,000 naira. I was being paid, yes, I think 8,000 naira every month for being there. I was not thinking of uncertainty. I was not thinking of being fearful. Hey, what will next thing? How will this 8,000 naira come? How is this all of this? You wouldn't believe that same skill I was able to upskill was what I end with when I got to the service here. You see people who are not doing anything, who have no work, they are the most fearful people. They are the most fearful. What I'm saying right now is, if you are not a student, or maybe you're a student, you're on holidays, make sure you find something productive to do with your hands. There's a saying that the idle hands is the devil workshop. I would also increase that the idle mind is the fearful workshop. So put my name there. The idle mind is the fearful workshop. Put my name, quote. The idle mind is the fearful workshop. So the people who are more who are the people who are most fearful are those who are not busy, are those who are not working with their hands. So work have a way of keeping you courageous. You're working, you are earning something. To some extent, you have a belief system that at least you can eat. At least you have somewhere to lay your hand. And then you can figure out the next level of your life from there. Work have a way of making you courageous. My dear sister, ah, my dear sister, stop sitting down and waiting for a rich guy to propose to you. Before you know it, 10 years, 15 years, you have added 15 years to your current age, and you are so fearful that you are aging out. Go out and work. In the place of work, there's a likely chance that you find the right man meeting you. Because right now, lots of the men, at least most men, an higher percentage of men don't want to get married to lazy women or women who are doing nothing with their lives. Maybe it's an hard truth, it's a hard truth, and you have to take that. Work have a way of keeping you courageous. Work have a way of keeping you courageous. When you work, you meet people. You can go out and they will ask you, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, I'm into this. You may even touch it, all right? Touch it. Don't say you are a teacher. Don't go out and say, maybe you are teaching in secondary. I say, what are you doing? You say, no. You say, I'm an educator impacting young people to be better in their life. Courage. The reason why some people are ashamed of telling people what they do is because they don't know how to put it in the right way that makes it look appealing. Don't go out and say, I'm a teacher. But when you go out, maybe you go out somewhere, that's what are you doing? Nothing. You know what? It makes you so fearful because after you have said that nothing, you may to some extent feel ashamed of yourself. Sorry, this is not to be sarcastic at anyone. Yes, I understand. Is the truth is that if you are in Nigeria, it may be difficult to get a job. It may be difficult to get a job or to get the kind of job you want. But what I would say is start somewhere. Start somewhere. Start somewhere. Just start with something. At least be doing something and figure out next level of life from there. And then you keep growing and advancing. I know some people would not believe that after my master's, I was a master's degree holder. And I was working in a company where I was paid 30,000 every month. But you know what? The experiences I got in that job till today is adding so much value to my life. The experiences I got at that job today is helping me become a better person, helping me become a better professional, helping me become someone who can put things together, organize things accurately, be excellent at the things I put up, helping me to think critically. I may not have gotten such level of proficiency and such level of competence if I said, how much are they paying? 30,000. In fact, when I went to discuss with the owner of the organization, we didn't even talk salary. And let me tell you the funny truth: the 30,000 was not even constant because there were days the 30,000 was not even paid. There were months 30,000 was not even paid. But the value I got from there is making me a better person today. All right, it has given me the ability to be able to construct things, put things together in a way that people say, wow, who did this? This is amazing. So work have a way of keeping you courageous. Let no day go without you doing something productive with your life. Even if it's to go somewhere not far from your environment, go somewhere where they are doing something and say, please, can you allow me to just come here and work for free? I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to just be here and learn. Do you know that's how lots of people got connections that got them to a point of wealth? If it's just going somewhere, doing something with your qualification, and then you're improving, it keeps you courageous. I'm telling you, work improves your courage. Work enhances your courage. I cannot teach in secondary school. I cannot. Do you know, as a teacher in a secondary school, you can begin to build your public speaking skill. They can organize program in that place, and you can tell them you want to be the MC of their end of the year party, and you are building your speaking skill from there. You are already building yourself as an event MC. You are building yourself as an event planner like that. And before you know it, you begin to build your skill. It could be your starting point. It doesn't mean it will be your ending point. AJ, AJ is thinking. Yeah, so you have to think about it. Work improves and enhances your courage. Idle people are the most fearful people in life. Most fearful people in life. I'm thinking of an example in my head now, but because I'm going live, I don't want to just use it because this video is going to be public. I don't want to use it. Do you know that even those that do unethical things, they know fear. Why do you think they are so courageous? Why? Because they are working. Because they are working. What's your work? What's your work? What's your work? What's your work? You hardly see a student who is diligent, like who attends class, who is there, who does assignments, who rises up to study and do all of those things. You hardly see them fearful to go and write exam. But you see the ones who will wait 1 week to exam. Because I'm in the educational space, I know some of these things. They will wait 1 week to exam. You see some people in the early part of the semester or in the early part of the session, they are following babes up and down. Some of them in the evening, they will go and take their bait in the evening. They will go to the estate, take their bait, they will spray pep, and now come back to lecture hall and be chasing girls up and down. And they expect their result to be fine. When exam is close, they are very fearful. And that's why you have most of them who try to cheat. Why? Because of fear. Because of fear. They don't work from the beginning. And when the time for examination comes, they then want to work and they are fearful to fail. So lazy people are the most fearful people. Very fearful. So work has a way of making you courageous. For those who are professionals who are doing maybe your private business, so you're an employee, you're doing all of those things, the ability to do things excellently improves your courage. Don't just say, I will do it as much as I've gotten it done. No. The next time that thing comes, you remember the comment that was said when you did things shabbishly, and then you are not courageous to do it again. But when you put in your effort to work and bring out things excellently, you are courageous to do it again. You are courageous to do it again. The fact that I said last week that, just come out, show your face, be courageous and do all of those things, does not mean you should do it shabbishly. Why? Because the comment section will tell you. Make sure you put in, at least you do your best to let it come out excellently. Let it come out excellently. Excellent people stay more courageous. They are courageous people. They are courageous. They do things courageously and they change their life in no small way. So track record improves your courage. Track record. When you do things and people come to tell you and say, that thing was fantastic. You know what it does to you? You come out again, you want to do it. You come out again, you want to do it. Maybe you're thinking of starting a webinar. You started that webinar, you had a comment, that thing blessed me. Like, you were so down to it. I was blessed by it. I will not forget this webinar. Small. Yeah. Nice. You want to do it again. Why? Courage begins to increase. Now, number five is wisdom. Wisdom is a defense, and wisdom increases your courage. Wisdom advances your courage. Wisdom increases your courage tanks, begins to fill up your courage tank. Wisdom is powerful. Wisdom is powerful. I love the part of the Bible that said, if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who giveth unto all men liberally. Okay? There's a part of wisdom that has to do with prayer, and there's a part of wisdom that has to do with your conscious investment into the right knowledge and the willingness to apply them. People just pray, God give me wisdom, God give me wisdom, God give me wisdom. It's fine. Yeah, there's a part of wisdom that comes that way. But there's a part of wisdom that makes you really powerful and desirable, which comes by investing in the right knowledge and implementing them correctly. So you need wisdom. That's in the fifth W, wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Why do you think? Why do you think there was a time in the Bible when Solomon became king of Israel, and there were two harlots. I think that was what the Bible called them. Two harlots who were living in the same house. Two of them gave birth to babies. All right, two different babies. And one of them, I don't know what happened. I don't know how much he slept. They slept. That one, slept over. Maybe she enjoyed the sleep so much and slept over the baby, and her baby died. And when she woke up, when she woke up and found out the baby was dead, she took the dead child and put it on the chest of the one who had the living child, took the living child and put it on her own chest. She knew what happened. And the woman woke up and looked at it critically. The one who had the living child woke up and looked at the child, and this child is dead. And she looked at the face very well. The Yoruba put it in a very clear way, but don't let me not say it in that way. Looked at that child and said, this one will be my own. No. This one will be my own. No. No. This one will be my own. No. They now took the matter to Solomon. And Solomon told them to start talking. This one spoke, the living child is my own. This one said, the living child is my own. This one said, do you notice that Solomon was not agitated before asking the question? He was not agitated. Why? Because wisdom was there. When leaders lack wisdom, they take decision or they make judgment out of sentiment or fear. When leaders lack wisdom, they make judgment out of sentiment or fear. That's really profound. But you know what? Solomon was calm. He was just listening to them. They were shouting. Solomon was not agitated. He was just there. Okay, making out they talk. They talk. The man of wisdom was figuring out what to say. They talk. And he just asked one question. There was just one question that brought out the right judgment. Just one question. You see, calmness. Sometimes it's not the person that talks the most that has the most sense. Not be person wey talk pass, na him get sense pass. Sometimes the person wey get sense pass is actually analyzing. It's taking time, extracting wisdom, not fearful, not agitated. Argument is going on. And you just see this person with wisdom. We just say something that, okay, your point was right, but look at it this way, look at it this way. And everybody will just agree and argument ends. So that day, Solomon just said, okay, bring the child. This is what we are going to do. We are going to take a knife and cut this child into two and share it between the two of you. And the mother said, please. And the mother was like, please, please, don't cut the child. Just do it. When the child grow up, sorry. Now, he now says, give her the child. Don't worry, when the child grows up, he will find out the right mother. And Solomon said, this is the real mother of the child. Why? Because there is no mother, true mother. We have different mothers today. No real and true mother of a child will let them cut and kill the child into half and take it. They want to say, yes, that's what you should do. That's what you should do. So Solomon knew that this one that can allow them kill the child is not the real mother. But you see, this one that is begging, that is even willing to let go the child, would have likely been the mother of the child. So wisdom is powerful. So wisdom has a way of keeping you courageous. In circumstances, you figure out things with wisdom. In chaos, in crisis, you figure out things with wisdom. Every other person may be confused and fearful that things are uncertain, things are not sure. When you have wisdom, you navigate through life and get a desirable outcome. All right. So you put on the armor of wisdom, and then you reduce your chances of making mistake. When you have wisdom, people would not scam you, people would not dupe you. You will not be fearful that my money will go. Why? Because you have financial wisdom. So you need to build wisdom in your life. You need to build wisdom in your life. Okay, so this is very, very important. So you can build wisdom by listening to podcasts. You have selected podcasts you listen to. For example, I have a podcast called Growth Secrets with Abiodun Mustafa. If you just Google it, Growth Secrets with Abiodun Mustafa. All right, you can subscribe there. I have a lot of sessions I've done. It's on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, it's on Overcast, it's on Spotify. You can listen to my podcast. There are also other podcasts like let me just tell you some that I'm subscribed to. You can listen to TED Talks. All right, there is this podcast called TED Talks Daily. TED Talks Daily. There's also this podcast called Entrepreneurs on Fire. There's this podcast by John Maxwell. That's Maxwell Leadership Podcast. There are a lot of amazing podcasts. Motivational Speech Daily. So you listen to them on a daily basis. You know, I shared the story of my younger brother who listens to 7 Good Minutes. That's another name of another podcast, 7 Good Minutes. So they take about less than 7 minutes or thereabout to share very insightful things on a daily basis that can inspire your life. Okay. So 7 Good Minutes. Listen to some of those amazing podcasts on a daily basis. It seems to increase your wisdom. Hence, you become more courageous about life. Then also subscribe to some dedicated YouTube channel, maybe some channel that share book summary, some that share on financial wisdom. There's this YouTube channel by Vusi Tembekwayo. He shares a lot of amazing insights. Just listen to them. So don't indoctrinate yourself with lots of movies that makes you fearful, or the ideologies are just mediocre, or things that limit you, or things that makes you scared about life, scared about marriage, scared about certain areas. So podcast, dedicated YouTube channel, subscribe to some email newsletters where they share very good insights on a daily basis or weekly. You can subscribe. One that I'm subscribed to is John Obidi's Wisdom newsletter. All right, you can subscribe. Very amazing. Also, you read books, whether in audio, whether book summary. Just read books. Those things have a way of adding up to your wisdom. Oh, Princess Shoma is making me say something. It says, when leaders lack wisdom, they make judgment based on sentiment or fear. Correct. I won't go deep into it, but I know a lot of people would expand on those things in their mind. Yeah, that's the truth. So when leaders, when they lack wisdom, they make judgment out of sentiment and fear. Very, very important. All right. So that's it for Courage Code. I think I will be beginning. I'm going to take another session, or if we don't have a guest, next week. Next week. Wow. All right. So if it will hold next week, of course, you will see my post. Join our Telegram channel. You can see the Telegram channel in the description. Join the Telegram channel. I will let you know if it's going to hold, or we might just hold a session on Friday, because next week I need to be at a workshop outside my current location. All right. And I'm not sure if there'll be that time to hold it on Wednesday, but you would know how it's going to go. It may be on Friday or Saturday. On Friday or Saturday, but of course, we'll look for a way to make Growth School hold. All right. So before I leave, I want to remind you, okay, that is coming up, titled Courage. My book that is coming up, titled Courage: How Ordinary People Achieve Extraordinary Results in the World. How ordinary people achieve extraordinary results in the world. So my book, Courage Code, and the pre-order is going to go for just $2, and I will be adding a course called Courage Code. Okay, I will share a lot of other insight beyond what you have learned in this 4 series on Courage Code in that course. So that course is going to be a bonus that will be given to anyone that gets a copy of that book for $2 only. Okay, so it's going to be $2, and I'm going to increase the price after a particular period. So I would encourage that you join those who would get it early. All right, those who will get it early. So prepare. I have a WhatsApp group for those who are joining the waiting list. I have a WhatsApp group. Let me post that in the comment section for those who have not joined the WhatsApp group. So those are the people who will be getting the information early enough. And I encourage that you join that WhatsApp group. So I'm also sharing a lot of things on that group on courage. Okay. So I would just drop the link to that on. I'll drop it right away so that you can join the group. So see you all next week as we share some amazing things. Okay, as we share some amazing things again next week. I think we'll be looking at something more on how to define your future and all. So maybe looking more on something that has to do with how you can define the right future and all of those things. So I dropped the link already in the chat session. So if you are watching the replay, just click on the live chat below this video. Click on the live chat, and then you would see the link there so you can join. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining tonight. Thank you for joining Growth School. It has been an amazing, phenomenal experience going through the Courage Code from part 1 to part 4. And I hope you learned a lot. I hope it was so impactful. You got a lot, and you will be helping yourself to stay really courageous from right here. Okay? As you go on in your life, stay courageous, take daring decisions, be bold to make the move. Your real outcome is at the end of your courage step. Your extraordinary result is at the end of your courage step. Till I come your way again, I remain Dr. Abiodun Mustafa. Do well to subscribe, do well to like this video, share with your friends, share everywhere that you can, and remain phenomenal. Cheers.